Here to react is Senior Fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracy's New Jersey National Guard and Army veteran Bill Roggio. Bill, great to see you. You've covered events since 9/11, both wars, as much or more than anybody else. Your writings are prolific about it. When you look at this number, $7 billion in equipment, the Pentagon assesses that the Taliban has. How much of a threat is that to us, to the region today?
It is absolutely a significant threat to both us and the region. We have to remember that Afghanistan prior to 9/11, it at least had opposition there with the Northern Alliance. And Al-Qaeda, which was fighting alongside the Taliban, was focused on fighting that Northern Alliance. With the disastrous withdrawal, and let me be clear, Biden owns this disaster, but it is a multi-administration failure. President Obama's ill-sourced surge and the timeline that he gave, and President Trump's bad deal with the Taliban. But Biden owns this. There was a third way. He needed to leave behind a resistance to the Taliban. It would have allowed if the Afghan government and military could have reorganized, he would have conducted a slow withdrawal. It would have prevented a lot of this equipment falling into the hands of the Taliban and thus its allies with Al-Qaeda. We've left behind not just equipment, but bases with stockpiles where these groups can train. And we have to remember that safe haven is the lifeblood, along with state sponsorship, which Al-Qaeda has both. The Taliban owns the Afghan state, and so Al-Qaeda has safe haven in Afghanistan.
Such a great point that prior to 9/11, the Taliban wasn't fully in control of Afghanistan. The Northern Alliance was there as a resistance. Now they've effectively consolidated. You mentioned the totality of the equipment. Here's a breakdown of the types of equipment the Taliban now have, courtesy of the U.S. taxpayer. $923 million worth of aircraft, $4.1 billion in ground vehicles, and over $500 million in weapons. That's an army, a terror army they could have never acquired themselves, could only have dreamed of. And now we see Al-Qaeda's back in the mix as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So the irony in all this is we went into Afghanistan to drive out the Taliban and prevent it from supporting groups like Al-Qaeda. Afghanistan is in a far worse state than it is today than it was on September 10th, 2001. The Taliban is in full control of Afghanistan. It has that significant weaponry. These numbers don't include all the munitions that are used to supply these weapons. Again, the bases, the fuel that we left behind, a whole bunch of equipment that the Taliban is taking advantage of. And this is a significant threat to the region and in the long term to the United States as well.
Yeah, we left it worse than we found it, which is not better off for us, certainly. Bill Roggio, thank you so much for all your coverage and your insight on this. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And you're right, that $7 billion probably on the low side.